Okay, so my next book is a book called The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. And I confess that I chose this book for very superficial reasons, because it has an awesome title, and because the cover is beautiful with a black cat on it, and also actually because I got a really raving review from Stephen King, who happens to be one of my favorite authors. So it's told in a variety of voices, the story. There's Ted. He's a young man kind of living in his childhood home. And you know pretty quickly that there is something off about Ted. You're not quite sure what it is, but you know that kind of unfolds over the course of the story. Then there is his daughter, Lauren, who has these strange episodes. They're kind of unexplained, and her comings and goings to the house are very mysterious. And then there's Ted's cat, the black cat of the cover, Olivia, who we also hear from, and she takes care of her Ted. Oh. So, but the story kind of started 11 years previously when a little girl named Lulu had disappeared. She disappeared while she was on vacation with her family at a lake near Ted's house, because she wandered off to follow her big sister Dee, and she was never seen again. So now Dee is actually moved in next door to Ted because she's never forgotten her sister, and she thinks that Ted has the answers to what happened to her sister. So she is the final voice in the book. And the cover calls it a horror, but I wouldn't say that it's horror. I think because of the creepy house that Ted lives in, maybe you could kind of say gothic, but mostly psychological suspense, because really the main story, the main suspense comes from trying to figure out what's going on with Ted, like what's wrong with him. It comes from Dee's guilt about her sister's disappearance, and it comes from learning about the roles that Lauren and Olivia play in Ted's life. So even though I read it for superficial reasons, I was really glad that I did in the end. And I think if you like Stephen King, if you like those kind of gothic-y suspense kind of stories, then I think that this is a really good fall title. The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward.
Sometimes you don't make so much of a mistake by judging a book by its cover, right? I mean,
exactly.
Sometimes it just works out.
I know. I always tell people to not do it, and yet that's exactly what I did.